Okay, so I'm with Aussie team member Vlad Ixel. How you going, Vlad?
Good, thank you.
And how have you found being in the Australian team so far?
I mean, I'm really excited. It's definitely fun and nice meeting all the other runners. Um, I haven't had too much interaction with a lot of the runners before,
Yep.
so it is nice to get to know them and spend the whole day today with John Owen. He's a super nice guy, and
Yeah.
meeting everybody. So it's good fun and
So
enjoyable.
tell people who may be watching a little bit about your background. Where'd you grow up in Australia and whereabouts you're living at the moment?
So I grew up in Perth. Um, we've got a lot of mountains and massive hills. So I actually moved to Hong Kong. So I moved to Hong Kong about a year and a half ago.
Okay. Yeah.
And probably gonna stay there for another year or two before I'll go back, hopefully to Perth. And yeah.
And was that a decision purely based on wanting to extend your running? Yeah.
Yeah, I started running about 4 years ago.
Yep.
And I mean, it was cheaper for me to fly over to Asia and do races than it was to fly to the East Coast.
Uh-huh.
I've done a couple of races in Asia, and I thought it's a good place to kind of develop my skills, and
Yep.
and I got a job coaching there. So
Cool. So, don't hold back. Tell us about some of your good race results over in Asia.
I've won quite a lot of races. They're all quite small, but I kind of feel like I'm still developing. So I get to race almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I've done probably about 30 races this year already.
Yep.
I just feel like I need to put in a lot of K's in my legs to build a good base before I can really focus on like certain races.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully I'll start doing that next year and the year after that. But I've won a lot of North Face races
Yep.
in Asia, around Asia.
Yeah.
So the North Face Thailand, North Face Singapore, North Face Korea,
Mm-hmm.
and North
Yep.
Face Hong Kong and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
So I mean, I've always raced a lot in my career as well, so I get totally where you're coming from there. And what's the trail running scene like in Hong Kong? Is it kind of happening and growing?
I mean, it's growing everywhere, but
Yeah.
you can definitely feel it in Hong Kong that every single race sells out. Like even the small ones, they sell out.
Yeah.
There's more prize money. There's better runners coming over, so
Mm-hmm.
it is growing, and it's fun to be a part of it. When it's all kind of
Mm-hmm.
picking up right now.
So one thing I know from racing a lot is that you're definitely dialed into race day, your routines and everything you'd have down pat. You're doing anything differently leading up to this race, or is it just another race? And I guess you're putting a little bit more emphasis on your taper and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely more
Yeah.
taper, but not crazy amounts.
Yep.
I mean, I did a race in the weekend, and that was kind of my last big run before this race.
Mm-hmm.
I think with every race you like learn a little bit more. Obviously, this race is a lot more important than most of the races this year, but I think it's all kind of a big learning curve for me still, and I kind of have my routine.
Mm-hmm.
And it's working now, but then again, some things I'm still kind of playing around with and trying to figure out. I'm not really good at tapering yet. I don't really kind of have it down packed yet, but yeah, it's something that hopefully I'll learn.
I think it comes with experience, and
Yeah.
also it is very individual. So what you might be doing is the right thing. Yeah.
Some of my best racing happened after big training weeks,
Mm.
and without much of a taper. So
Yep.
it's this kind of balance that I'm trying to find out.
Yep.
Not having 2 or 3 weeks with like really little running,
Mm-hmm.
and not doing too much like a few days before.
Yeah.
So
Well, we did discover you are the baby in the team at
Yeah.
29 years old, so maybe that has something to do with it as well. But that leads into what's the future for Vlad Ixel? You got years on your side to develop and grow as a trail runner. Where do you want to be in say 5 years' time with it?
I still want to enjoy it as much as I do right now. So I enjoy obviously competing and training. I really like training.
Mm-hmm.
I think that I probably like training a lot more than racing sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I really like kind of being out there by myself most of the time and just pushing hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I think hopefully within a few years I can do some of the bigger races and really kind of focus on them. So right now, I can do 20 or 30 races a year, where hopefully within 5 years I can really kind of go after like 5 or 6 big ones and try and do really well at them.
Excellent.
Um,
Excellent.
yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you've got a lot of ambition, and that's going to take you far. And you've got a good plan in your head there. So I'm really keen and looking forward to see how you go on Saturday, Vlad. I think you're going to have a great run. You're race ready, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And and I look forward to seeing you in many Australian singlets in the future too. All right, see ya.